I've been playing games since the 80s per se, and I never really had a problem with controls in games. Not with GoldenEye, with N64, not with Metroid, of course. They're all very familiar, very similar kind of games. You go left to right or right to left sometimes, or down to up or whatever. Avoid the pits, attack the enemy, jump on the enemy, avoid certain things. They're pretty self-explanatory for games in general. It wasn't until like the lateness of Sega Genesis that I played a game called Comic Zone. Comic Zone I played way later on, probably like in the late '90s when the game came out, and like in the early '90s in the Genesis era. I played it like probably via emulation or whatever. I'm not sure what, but if I would have played the game at the time it came out, I would have been like, "What the fuck is this?" Uh, Eternal Champions at the time was really had really odd controls, but Comic Zone was just weird. Not only going left to right was very simple, but you also go up to down sometimes. The arrows that point you down, but the way you progress in the game was really odd, and the game was designed to kill you before Dark Souls. Uh, with like various traps. If you don't get on them fast enough, there you die, and the main villain laughs at you and shit. They're like that by drawing all over you with the red X. That was really breaking the fourth wall back then was very weird. Um, but like I think it was like you hold the square button down to like it wasn't like the charge of your attack. It was like something else. It was really weird. The circle button wasn't what you think it was. I think sometimes you hit circle button to like grab an item or push pull an item. It was really weird controls. I can't even explain them. And then the next time, probably before that, I played a game called maybe you heard of it called Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid's controls at that time was very odd to me as a gamer. I think Tomb Raider was odd, but it was the way the character controlled in Tomb Raider that was odd, not the way the controller setup was. The way the controller setup was in Metal Gear Solid was very odd to me. I don't recall exactly what it is because it's been like forever since I played it, but like ducking under something and crawling on the ground, you never did that in games like popular games, at least back then. You never did that one. I don't think in any Zelda game at the time you were like crouching and walking at the same time. Duck walking. You weren't doing that kind of stuff in video games at that time. Throwing bombs and grenades, part of the course in that time. Shooting enemies with an AK or a shotgun, part of the course of the time. Stealth kills at that time, never done. Never done in games before. So you have to learn how to like watch enemy patterns, the cone where they see it and everything. You have to learn how to use stealth. And then Splinter Cell came out there, and then yada yada yada. So like that was a very weird left turn, if you will, when it comes to like controls in games and like what the narrative was for gameplay, stealth and like crouching, crawling, going up and down boxes for levels to avoid things there. It was rather different back then. You never played anything like that one. RPGs, you kind of got the gist of it because the game like usually had a good control, like letting you know what you can do with the enemies and what they can do to you. But Metal Gear was like another beast. It was like nothing else. It wasn't like shoot the thing, get past the item, get past the area, search through some stuff. No, it was very different. Metal Gear Solid was very different at that time. And some folks tried to copy it, but everyone hated that game. So the final time, um, probably like Devil May Cry's control was kind of weird. I think it was like holding R1 maybe to block. I think stance or whatever, or stay in place. So it's like you use the analog stick to like come. You move the analog stick to move around, and then you hold the R1 button to stay still, and then you hold back to like do the upward swipe. I'm like, why am I holding down the controller to do an up attack? But it was really weird back then, and like jump. I think jump was X, of course it is, and then like some games like circle is jump. I think Kingdom Hearts is jump, but and then like you hit the square button to shoot things, but it did basically no damage. I was like, why am I doing this move? It doesn't make any sense. So like it's like for style points or some shit. It was really weird, but like that was kind of odd, but not nearly as like game changing odd as Metal Gear Solid was. But it was still odd nonetheless. Katamari Damacy, that was like more or less a tech demo for the dual stuff, the Dual Shock controllers, the double analog sticks, and Ape Escape was the first one ever. Definitely before Katamari Damacy to use the two analog sticks together in tandem for for effect. I think it's probably on PSN probably finally right about now, but that was weird. I think like the one shoulder bump was the jump, but like I said, nothing was game changing like that one. But the reason why I made this video was because I'm trying to like Death Stranding so much. Death Stranding is one hell of a game. Ironic, but the same guy who messed up people's worlds back then with Metal Gear Solid, Hideo Kojima, same freaking guy. You would think a game nowadays would be normalized and like you can get the gist of it after a couple of hours or whatever. You get the gist of like the game control mechanics and they get stronger and stronger as they regress. I have no idea how many hours I am in the game because the game doesn't really tell you, or clearly anyway, how many hours you put in there. I'm like, no other game I've ever played in my life. I'm talking about like Skyrim, I'm talking about Fallout, Call of Duty, Battlefield, Gears of War, Halo, etc., etc. No other, Last of Us, yada. I'm not going to go every game I play. Uncharted, yada, yada, yada. No game I've ever played where just walking is a bad idea. But in Death Stranding, it's a bad idea to walk. It's best to actually, like, duck walk, is it called in the army? Duck walk, where you like crouch and walk and everything. Oh my God, that's the best thing. Leave it to the master, the person who invented per se duck walking in Metal Gear Solid to avoid enemies, Hideo Kojima. So Hideo Kojima was just broke the mold when it came to controls in games with the hold the button down and then shoot somebody and then double tap the button to like double tap X. X wasn't jump in that game. X was duck, and then you hit the button again to like go into crawl, and then you move under boxes or whatever, and then you can look in POV mode, and then look at enemies' feet and patterns and everything like that. Yeah, that was not a thing you did back then at all. And then in Death Stranding, oh my fucking God. You can warp from place to place, and you got to be a certain place to do that one. That one's part of the course. You do that kind of stuff nowadays, but you like going from A to B to like deliver packages. Oh, it's not that simple, dude. You have like random ghost enemies that come up to try to take your shit from the ground there, and then like the only way to avoid there's ways you can avoid them, but it's really weird how you do it. You gotta hold R1 to hold your breath, and you gotta only hold your breath for like 5 seconds at most, and you gotta hold your breath and then move away from them, and maybe they won't see you. Oh my, it's really weird, man. And then the I forget the name of them. The Nero enemies. I forget the name of them. The Nero equivalent, Days Gone. But like, there's a camp of enemies, and if they can see from really really far away, and if they see you, a pack's coming at you, and if you didn't have the foresight to pack like multiple of the same weapon, weird, right? Multiple of the same weapon, your progress is gone. You're done. You walked around terrain and obstacles and sliding mud and everything like that. You walked all the way there, trying to get to the camp because it's too far to go around. Try to go through there, and the camp sees you, and they're gonna like shoot spears at you with exploding things there, and you fucking like lose packages, and your attacks do jack shit in the game. Like you can hold the button down, it does nothing. Double tap the button, it does nothing. You can't jump. I think you could jump there, but it doesn't do anything. You can't like jump and attack or whatever to do a stagger the enemy. You just gotta hold that shit. So you can use like a Ebola gun or whatever, and you can use a Ebola gun to one-shot enemies down. But in the game, they may get back up. I don't know if they get back up. It doesn't really clearly tell me. So you fall into a cliff there, your packages get ruined, you can use your container spray to spray the packages to make it better again, and then you move forward, and then another truck of enemies may come along again and like try to ruin your day again and fuck up your packages. They fuck up your packages. The place where you're going to is like going to there for nothing. It's a fucking nightmare, and you gotta worry about that damn baby in your chest per se. Yeah, it's really weird. It's really weird. The baby in chest there makes it so you can see things farther and see enemies from farther away, yada, yada, yada. So, like, you gotta take care of that one, and the message to that place, like, message from A to B, hold the square button down, drag it to the next place, instead of like, being double tap, it doesn't do that part. It's really fucking weird. That game and the controls and the messages, gotta squint to see them and everything. I got a 50-inch TV, I gotta squint. What's that? Gotta squint to see it. It's fucking weird. The graphics are good though on that game, very, very good. But holy crap, this guy must have been on some shit when he made this game. We're gonna make walking hard. We're gonna make the locations difficult to get to. Where you gotta like use a ladder to climb something, and you don't know. We're gonna. I think the game tells you. I think the game tells you what items you need for the trip, but I don't know for sure because I don't know what those fucking red icons are. There's red, blue, and I think white icons on the right hand side, off the side of the screen. You can't really see them. You gotta like hit the D-pad to go over to the right hand side. You gotta know it's there, and then maybe I don't even know what those icons are. They didn't really tell you what those icons are. It's like a squiggly line and like a ladder looking thing. A ladder is an obvious one, but like, is the ladder like a ladder recommended? Do I really need it? It's just a whole bunch of wow. Like no other game I played before. It's a whole bunch of like trial and error in that game. You think like, oh, Death Stranding, it's going to be a simple game. All you got to do is walk from A to B and deliver your packages and it'll be fine. You in for a world of trouble, my dude. You in for a world of trouble. Oh, I can use a motorcycle to get across there. No, you can't. There's going to be obstacles in your way to stop motorcycles too. You have no idea, dude. So if you, I think it was on sale. Maybe it is still on sale for $20 on PSN. Give it a shot. I guarantee it's going to be the most thrilling experience of your life.